Good morning to day 116. Day 116 is the day after the big pour, as everyone saw. Sorry about the wind. It was quite an eventful day. So I'm going to quickly go up now. Spin it around from the very beginning so you can see what actually took place. It went on till late last night, so here's the beginning. Unfortunately, the first issue we come across. Oh, it's not. No, it's fine. They did take them out. The steel benders, for some reason, put steels along here, which they've managed to take out. And they left the sidewalls in because that's going to be the sidewall that comes up. Obviously, this is all going to be mopped off and that lot. So the guys, when I came back last night, they were polishing. There's a dip. The good thing about the raining last night is kept the cool down, and we need to get the hose up here in a minute to keep the temperature down on the concrete, because it's still, even though obviously it started setting, it still is still doing its thing. So yeah, this is the patio. Jesus, it's not until you actually start seeing it in concrete you realise how bloody big it is. So this is where the entrance is going to be. There's going to be steps coming all the way up to here. This is the patio area. There's the cottage, as they call it. A couple of little patches there, which means it's going to collect water. I told them that there was actually a dip there. This is my main concern. Like I said yesterday, they were meant to go to the top of the 4x2, which they haven't, so that's going to cause us a big problem when it comes down to decking around here. What they should have done is pretty much what they've done here. See, they've actually gone to the top of not only the 4x2, they've actually gone to the top of the little 1x2 as well on top. So this is basically meant to be around about 2 inches above that piece, so that we can actually run a decking all the way around. And as you can see here, it'll be perfect. It was up to the 2 inch, but as we know, it's come down here and come down around here. So I'm not too sure what we're going to be able to do there. That's another thing we can try and rectify. All of these little conduits here were just to try and hold up the pipe and hold up the 4x2, so they're going to have to be trimmed off. Not too sure how we're going to trim them off and cut back, but that's going to have to be done. And quite a few parts on the concrete as well. You can see the stones in the top where they haven't vibrated enough. So once we actually do get to the point where we clean it off and we realise what it looks like, we may have to decide whether we put an epoxy resin over the top or something to try and change the colour and the look and feel. I mean, here, look, that will be cleaned off. But there are also, these lines are just where the splashes. But here, for instance, I'm not too sure if those will come out. And I don't know what they do. Obviously, after they finish, I don't know if they go back over these little bits here that they didn't get around to doing. I don't know if there's anything they can do after the event. I'm sure you could still sand concrete, polish concrete after it's dried, I would have thought. I'm just not too sure how that works. So I'll speak to them about that when they come. But the first thing I want to do is just start getting some water on it, just to try and keep it wet. I did intend on going first thing this morning. I was literally going to go to. They've got like a B&Q or a Home Depot. It's called Cummins. I was literally going to go there and just try and get some sprinklers. So rather than standing here doing what I'm doing now, we just set the sprinklers up. But in my never-ending rush, I forgot my wallet. So yeah, everything also seems to be okay. I mean, I came back here last night about 9 o'clock. They were still polishing. They had the lights on. They were also trying to do their thing. They assured me they'd be done by 4 or 5 o'clock. So they had no chance, absolutely no chance. I mean, everyone knew they weren't going to get it done in that time, but it's a big pour, very big pour. Absolutely massive, in fact. Not sure what this yellowy stuff is that comes through. But yeah, so today it's really about sort of going over, making, just clearing up, sweeping up, mopping a little bit, keeping this wet as it's still curing. It cures for up to 28 days apparently. So the jacks that are underneath the house will stay in place, I assume, for that duration of time. Never assume, as they say, but I would have thought they would stay in place until that curing period is over. But the formwork around the building, the wood, I would have thought that can be taken off today. So we'll get that taken off Sorry, as I'm focusing on spraying, I'm not even focusing on the camera. Yeah, take all the formwork off, take all the outer stilts, outer jacks that are holding all the formwork in place off. Yeah, tidy the place up and start building a plan for this week, because believe it or not, 2 weeks is the plan and we want the actual roof on. So the building has got to be erected. So we are aiming to lay blocks today. And it's quite weird as well. It takes 28 days to cure, but we can lay blocks on it. It's a bit weird. But yeah, so the plan is to physically start erecting the house today at some stage, which also means that we need to have blocks delivered. The masonry guys need to be here. Get a few labourers arrive for some unknown reason. Don't know how many we need today. Don't need that many. Morning. And we want the house up, roof on, in 2 weeks. So can we do it? I reckon we probably could. But we need to plan. That's the issue at the moment. In the building game full stop, there is a lack of planning all the time, as everybody knows. But here it does seem to be a little bit worse. So, you know, I'm looking at all these steels, and I said to you yesterday about all the actual steels coming up the floor and the pipe work. We've got to cut all them away because we didn't plan where they were going to be. So, not a major problem, but obviously we are going to have to now cut things away that weren't, you know, didn't need to. If we just planned it properly, there'd have been plenty of space around those. But now we're going to have to duplicate that job, which is a real pain in the butt. But anyway, it's got to be done. There's no point going over spilt milk. It's already been done, so we've just got to build a plan today about what we're going to do with regards to rectifying some of the issues, and obviously what the next week and a half looks like. We've got to make sure that the guys have actually got their blocks on site, so they can actually crack on. There's no point in them standing around not doing anything. Again, a lot of the guys are on price work, so they really don't, I don't know what it is, but they don't mind standing around. Whereas in England, if people on price and they turn up, there's no materials, they kick off. So over here, they're so chilled. It's like, oh, there's no blocks, okay then. In England, we're like, where's the bloody blocks? So, you know, people can't earn money if they're on a price, if there's no material. So here, like most places, obviously any form of price work that takes place, normally the contractor provides the materials, and the workers provide the men and the workmanship. But obviously a lot of the times, for some reason, there's no materials, but they don't seem to mind. It's a bit strange. But anyway, so today we need to get blocks. I don't know how many. I'd say quite a few. It's good that we actually got this sorted as well, because we, at the last minute, we realised that all of the floors, all the concrete floors, obviously, that had to be poured, anything on the same level had to be poured. So this being one of them. So the main foyer, this is the entrance into the house itself. That's obviously now been built up and sorted. And also this here, which is the toilet for the main house, guest toilet. We just didn't even think about it, because it wasn't even, you know, it's not even in the house. So it was out of sight, out of mind. And as you can see, it's all one level. So now that it's done, this is the main entrance into the house. Didn't quite think that through straight. I mean, I don't know whether these are in the right place. In fact, I think the front door is here. So there's another 2 steels straight in the way of a door frame. Bloody hell. The difficulty with the steels themselves is, say, you've now got to, you can't just cut them off. You've got to try and dig them out and cut them off, because otherwise they stick up and then they rust and they start causing different discolorations and stuff like that. So it's going to be an absolute pain to do that again. But yeah, you can't, the air conditioning holes obviously are in the right place. So we can't, the air conditioning holes, you can't walk into the air conditioning holes. So the door frame is going to have to be about there, which means we're definitely going to have to lose one of those steels. But again, that's what we've got to do today. Walk around, map everything out, make sure that everything that we are meant to be blocking or building or whatever else is marked out properly. As you can see, the kitchen over there, we need to mark out where the kitchen is. But over there, where these pipes are, this is actually where one of the supporting walls is going to go. So that's really important to get marked out, because the guy's going to have to block of those. And at the same time, when they get to about 2 courses, the plumbers are going to have to come in and extend the pipe work that's going to go through to the top. So yeah, planning is going to be quite important today. Certainly this week, but today and tomorrow, I think planning is going to be key. So I'm going to get everyone together and try and force them to talk. And you never know, they might even build a plan. That'd be great. But I'm going to carry on doing this, and I'll show you a little bit more as and when I finish spraying. This is really important. You've got to get it cooled down, so I'll keep on spraying, and once I finish, I'll record a little bit more. 9:30. Been to Cumans, bought a couple of little sprays. Got one over there, sort of consistently doing that one. Got a couple of little spinners. But unfortunately, the water pressure's not good enough. Unfortunately, to do 3. I've only got like a little thin sort of 3/4 pipe coming in at the moment, just obviously to feed the house with water. So the mains pressure isn't hard enough at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, we can just wheel it around. So it's again the same to having a human being standing here. So yeah, no labour here today though. We got the labourer, Mr. Tyson. He's here. There was one other labourer, but he left on a push bike. And the bricklayers have turned up, but obviously they've seen that there's no block, so they've left. So I need to contact the owner and find out what the plan actually is for today, stroke this week. Otherwise, before you know it, we'll be another week down the line, another week of lost revenue and time. So I'm gonna give him a call in a minute and find out what's going on. But other than that, obviously this is where we are at the moment. We're going to be taking the formwork off if we can, but obviously we need staff in order for that to happen. So we need to chase them up for that and find out. Other than that, that's where we are. So it's now 11:30. We're still in the same situation, really. We've got my supervisor in, and we've got Tyson in, and we're trying our best between the 3 of us to try and keep the slab cool whilst it's in this blistering sun. As you can see, we've got sprinklers on there, so quite a vast space. And also just trying to keep the water on it, because it just dries out very quickly. So it's just moving the sprinklers around, but obviously not flooding it too much, because obviously it goes down into the basement, so it's just going to make the job harder. A few real deep patches. That there in the electrical cupboard, of all places, is a low spot, and we've got one low spot out in the main patio that I can see so far. So not too bad so far. The biggest downside, obviously, is that we've got no labour on site today. We were meant to be starting this morning with the and blocks, and they were meant to be blocking. So that hasn't happened. The masons turned up and they turned around and went. So I've spoken to the owner, and the owner says that he doesn't want to put any labour on site at the moment until he revises where we are. So I'm trying to pin him down so I can try and discuss what that is. There's been a couple of edits that we've made on the building as we've gone, which obviously is going to increase the cost of the building. We need to discuss those costs and move on. But at the moment, I've paid a considerable amount of money, over 76% so far of budget, not including those changes. So we need to establish what those changes are to establish what that 76% actually really is. Is it 60? Is it 65? Is it 50? Is it 72? And off the back of that, then we can obviously proceed forward with knowing what we're doing and what the costs are. But under the circumstances, I've definitely paid more than I should have paid to get where we are, that's for sure. So not having labour on site this morning is not the right thing to do. So hopefully we can catch up this morning and discuss that, so we can actually establish a line in the sand and we can move forward. But having no one on site is not doing us any favours, bearing in mind we're 5 weeks behind. There's a monkey in the road. See if he wants to do some labouring. Bearing in mind we're low on labourers. Anyway, so I'm going to shoot off now and try and pin him down. And from that pin down, maybe we can get a direction as to what we're doing and how we're moving forward, because this has to be pushed with or without the current team, that's for sure. Hopefully it's with the team, but obviously that's life. You have to move on if things aren't right. So hopefully we can establish that today. So I'll update later.